Good morning, friends, and welcome to Wake Up in the Word. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's a glorious morning. It's a fantastic day. Has there ever been a day like this? It's a day in which we're going to start looking into the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Matthew chapter 28. Come join me. Let's see what it says. All of a sudden, that sealed tomb that we saw yesterday, that grave secured by Roman soldiers, all of a sudden has burst open. What will we find? Matthew chapter 28, verse 1, it says, After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to view the tomb. There was a violent earthquake because an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and approached the tomb. He rolled back the stone and was sitting on it. It's like in triumph. Here I am, folks. Don't you check this out. I'm sitting on the stone that was in front of the door. Take a look. Now, his appearance, the Bible says, was like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards were so shaken by fear of him that they became like dead men. Now, keep in mind, this is no small task. These are Roman soldiers. They are taught to fight, not fear. They're taught to be tough. If anybody was, an example of the tough man of the day, it would be a Roman soldier, wouldn't it? When they saw an angel of the Lord, they passed out cold. Well, friends, a lot of folks say, I'd love to see an angel. I'd love to see an angel. I'm not sure you or I could take it. We might just have a heart attack and die. So these guys are out like a light. They saw an angel in all his power, his glory, and his gleaming white clothes. And it says they became like dead men. But the angel told the women in verse 5, don't be afraid, because I know you're looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay, then go quickly and tell his disciples. And in this first appearance of not Jesus yet, but an angel, the resurrection announcement has been made. Now, what's Jesus been doing in the meantime? Well, he told the thief on the cross, the righteous thief that recognized him as Lord, where they were going. He said, today you'll be with me in paradise. The Bible says that he led captivity captive. No, he didn't ascend to heaven. He has not done that yet. Check out John 20. That's what he said himself. But instead, he descended into that area of the dead where, as we see from Luke chapter 16, there's a great gulf between the righteous and the unrighteous dead. Those who were looking for God's Messiah and were trusting the Lord and had their faith and trust in him, and those who were wicked and unrighteous. And as he goes to share the message, he's proclaiming what he's done at Calvary. He's letting the prisoners know that they are about to be set free. And that's why, I want to think about what that thief was doing. What was his first assignment? Was he going to be like Tonto to the Lone Ranger? Come on, you're my sidekick, Jesus says, as we're on our way to preach to all of those who have been looking for me. I don't know what it was like, but I do know that there was an experience at this same time after the resurrection of some of these spirits being released. Now, the Bible's already told us that. Remember, back up into chapter 27, and where it says in verse 50 that when Jesus cried out with a loud voice, he gave up his spirit, and suddenly the curtain of the sanctuary was torn in two from top to bottom. Okay, there's no place to hide now. It's been opened up. The Holy of Holies has been entered by the Lord, right? And it says the earth quaked and the rocks were split and the tombs were also opened. How did Matthew know this? Because he says, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised, and they came out of the tombs when? After his resurrection. They didn't come out when he was crucified. It says they came out after his resurrection, entered the holy city, and appeared to many. So listen, they may not have seen Jesus yet, but they know something's going on. The earthquake has happened. The rocks are shaking. There's a bright white light out there by the garden tomb. And now all of a sudden, there are dead saints walking around in Jerusalem. And what were they saying? Jesus has set us free. I don't know what it was. We don't have the recordings of what they said and did, but they appeared to many, the Bible says. So, friends, it has happened. Jesus is raised, and before long, he's going to start appearing to others, not just once or twice, but many, many times over. When Herbert Lockyer writes about this, he says, quote, "The agony of Good Friday was swallowed up in the triumph of this Easter day. In his death, he was the lamb, but in his resurrection, he was the lion. Jesus of Nazareth, master carpenter, had purchased man's whole salvation through wood and nails, but his resurrection was God's receipt for Calvary. The angelic message, He is risen, declares that the debt has been paid. It's been paid, and Jesus Himself is about to show up to declare it to every one of us. What's up now? What are we supposed to do now? Listen, because Jesus is going to tell us. We'll look into that tomorrow as we wake up in the Word. In the meantime, I think most of us already know a lot of those answers. Are you obeying the Master? Are you following His will? Are you letting other people know the good news? That's what it's all about on this Resurrection Day, as every day should be from now until He comes. God bless you. I'll see you again right here tomorrow as we wake up in His Word.